This video has been brought to you by DataVinci Analytics Agency.
Hello everyone and welcome back to a new video from DataVinci Analytics Agency. My name is Haroon and this is going to be a video series on marketing attribution covered by myself and my fellow team member Joanne. In today's video we are going to talk about consent management in marketing attribution. So let's start the video. So what are we going to cover in this video? We are going to cover introduction to consent management in marketing attribution, privacy regulations overview, consent management framework, key challenges in consent management, implementing consent management in marketing attribution, and finally best practices for consent management. What are the challenges in terms of consent management related to marketing attribution? The first one is obtaining consent for tracking user data across various channels, ensuring compliance with privacy regulations like GDPR, CCPA, balancing the need for data collection with respect to user privacy preferences, managing consent preferences across different devices and platforms, handling opt-ins and opt-outs for marketing attribution purpose, integrating custom consent management systems with existing marketing attribution frameworks. So how this video helps you? It helps you gain an in-depth understanding of consent management in marketing attribution. It will help you in covering essential topics including privacy regulations, consent management frameworks and CMPs. It will guide you through addressing key challenges and implementing best practices effectively. It provides insights from real-world case studies illustrating successful consent management strategies. So, what is consent management? Consent management refers to a systematic process of obtaining, recording, and managing user consent for data processing activities. In the context of marketing attribution, it plays a pivotal role in ensuring compliance with privacy regulations such as GDPR, CCPA, while maintaining transparency and trust with users. Effective consent management is essential as it allows organizations to collect and process user data responsibly, aligning with legal requirements and ethical standards. Moreover, a robust consent management practices foster transparency and accountability, strengthening the relationship between businesses and their audience. Ultimately, prioritizing consent management in marketing attribution strategies not only ensure regulatory compliance but also builds customer trust and loyalty in an increasingly data-driven landscape. So what are the importance of consent management? Significance in marketing. Consent management plays a pivotal role in digital marketing by ensuring that businesses collect and process user data in transparent and ethical manner. It fosters trust between business and users, enhancing the overall user experience and bolstering brand reputation. Effective consent management practices enable businesses to align with evolving privacy standards and regulations while maintaining user confidence in their marketing efforts. The second one would be regulatory requirements. Regulatory frameworks such as the General Data Protection Regulation GDPR in the European Union and the California Consumer Privacy Act CCPA in United States impose strict requirements on how businesses handle user data. These regulations mandate the businesses to obtain explicit user consent from users before collecting, processing or sharing their personal information for marketing purposes. Compliance with such laws is important to avoid hefty fines and penalties to uphold user privacy rights. Now the final one would be obtaining explicit user consent. Explicit consent refers to the clear and affirmative agreement from users to allow the data collection and processing of their personal data for specific purposes. In the context of digital marketing, obtaining explicit consent is crucial for conducting targeted advertisement campaign, analyzing user behavior, and personalizing marketing communication. It empowers users to exercise control over their data and ensures that businesses operate with transparency and accountability. So what are the components of consent management? User consent forms and opt-in mechanisms. These are essential for informing users about data collection purposes and allowing them to actively consent or decline. Consent tracking and documentation. Recording user consent details ensures compliance and transparency in data processing practices. The third one would be user preferences management. Users should have accessible interface to review, update or modify their consent preferences. Consent revocation and withdrawal process. Clear procedures enable users to revoke consent, prompting organizations to cease related data processing prompts. Now, how do we implement consent management systems with tools like GTM? The first part would be integrating with CRM and marketing automation platform. Utilizing GTM to integrate consent management system with CRM and marketing automation platforms. Set up triggers within GTM to capture consent events and relay them to integrated platforms. Ensure seamless data flow between GTM and these platforms. to maintain consistency in user preferences and consent statuses. The second part would be user-friendly interface for consent management. Design a user-friendly consent interface using Google Tag Manager's custom HTML tags and triggers. Implement clear and concise consent forms that outline data usage and processing purposes. Use Google Tag Manager's variable to personalize consent forms based on user preferences and previous interactions. The third part would be automation of consent renewal and expiration process. Set up automated triggers in GTM to initiate consent renewal process based on predefined timelines. Integrate Google Tag Manager with email automation tools to send reminders to users for consent renewal before expiration. Utilize Google Tag Manager's scheduling features to automate consent statuses, updates, and expiration notification. Finally, regular audits and compliance check. Implement Google Tag Managers for tracking consent related events and activities across digital touchpoints. Set up GTM triggers to monitor consent data and flag any inconsistencies or compliance issues. Use GTM's debug mode to test and validate consent management functionalities regularly. Conduct periodic audit of GTM configuration and consent management processes to ensure compliance with regulatory requirements. Now, what are the challenges in terms of consent management? So the first one is consent fatigue among users. Users may experience consent fatigue due to frequent consent requests across multiple platforms and websites. Repeated consent prompts can lead to user frustration and reluctance to engage with consent requests, impacting overall user experience. Ensuring transparency and clarity in consent requests. Consent requests must be transparent, clear, and easily understandable to users. Complex language or ambiguous consent forms may confuse and lead to misunderstanding regarding data usage and processing practices. Third point is keeping up with evolving regulatory requirement. Regulatory frameworks such as GDPR, CCPA, and other continue to evolve, introducing new requirements and new standards for consent management. Organizations must stay informed about regulatory updates and adapt their consent management process accordingly to ensure compliance. Balancing user privacy with personalized marketing efforts. Organizations should aim to deliver personalized marketing experiences based on user data preferences. However, obtaining explicit consent for data processing while maintaining user privacy can be challenging, especially in highly targeted marketing campaigns. Now finally, how do we integrate consent management with attribution? Importance of consent management for data used in attribution. Collecting consent ensures that users are aware of and agree to use of their data for attribution purpose. It establishes trust between the users and organizations by allowing users to control how their data is utilized in attribution model, ensuring transparency and accountability in attribution practice. Transparency involves clearly communicating to users how their data will be used in attribution model and ensuring that the attribution process is accountable and fair. This includes providing users with information about the type of data collected, how it will be analyzed, and the impact it may have on attribution outcome. The final point would be respecting user preferences and privacy concerns. Integrating consent management with attribution practices involve respecting user preferences regarding data usage and addressing their privacy concerns. Organizations should provide users with option to opt-in, opt-out data collection for attribution purpose, empowering them to control their data privacy while still enabling effective attribution analysis. I hope you like this video. If you have any questions, please leave them in a comment below. Thank you.